I just realized that FA can stand for both fat acceptance and food addiction. What a strange coincidence, huh? Anyway, let's get this party started. We're only here for laughs, right?
Fatphobia and ableism go hand in hand. This culture of ableism that we have makes people feel entitled to other people's bodies and makes people feel like they can look at and judge and pick apart and know you better than you know you.
It's a simple black and white world for you. Let's just decide that fat is the new fit and move on, I guess. Am I making you smile? But next morning you wake up, grab your phone, scroll through TikTok, and pick who you want to rage at for the day. Classic morning routine, right?
Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons. I'm gonna get my engineers to invent a combustible lemon that burns your house down.
So stop being terrible and pass the nachos.
You don't have to join people in shrinking their bodies in pursuit of an arbitrary beauty standard. It's not sustainable, and there are much, much better ways to pursue health than just shrinking your body.
You're not fooling anyone. You just want others to be fat. It's a power thing. You're a monster.
And if you are wanting to pursue thinness in pursuit of beauty, really examine and interrogate where these standards come from. A lot of it has rooting in white supremacy, and be really aware of who you're excluding in that pursuit of beauty.
No word yet on the dangers of gaining weight. In other words, the perfect excuse to eat a pizza tonight.
Things I hate as a fat person.
Thin people. I bet you hate them with all your fat heart. You hate them so much you want to roll them up into a yoga mat and beat them with a burrito.
Number one has to be those little, connected chairs at schools. Naya! Hello? So many straight-sized people complain about them, too, so.
Folks, now we all know the truth. Chairs are the enemy.
Number two is glasses, because, okay, the frames are never, wide enough, and they're always, splaying out little arms.
Add a few more pounds and you'll be stuck doing TikToks in landscape mode. It may not seem that important now, but trust me, it will be. You'll look back and only remember these glasses as a tiny annoyance.
Number three is shopping at the grocery store, because we're all here to get food. But how come I'm the problem here? I just feel like all fat people, when they're going to the grocery store, are just people are looking at you and judging you, no matter what you get. If you get fruits and veggies, you're on a diet. If you don't, then that's why you're fat.
So that was a f***ing lie.
All fat activists love to put words in my mouth and thoughts in my head. Which is easy because there's so much room in there. By the way, it's called projections, the classic move of a narcissist. Keep that nugget of wisdom in your back pocket. She's only saying that because she's got a major case of judgy pants and can't own up to it. Let's dive into another example of her projecting her drama onto us. Classic!
The shitty thing is that no matter what I say, and no matter how many studies I throw at you, no matter anything, you are still going to bury your head in the sand and continue to make these comments on fat people's videos who are just trying to advocate for fair treatment.
And then all of a sudden, when they come across some real studies, it's like, oh, look, science has a grudge against us obese folks. If I'm going to listen to someone mouth off about nutrition and exercise, I want them to be in great shape and have a nice-looking ass. So yeah, that's just straight-up bigotry, obviously.
This is how it feels when you first come onto the internet as a fat person. No, really, you don't understand it if you haven't been through it.
This victim mentality is truly addictive. She's already looking forward for the next tragedy. And after that, she will be all out of entitlement again and will need another fix. Today, she's bawling her eyes out. But on the next TikTok, she's head over heels in love with herself. Check it out.
No matter how much I accomplish, no matter how much I do, no matter how good of a person I am, no matter the community I hold, no matter the kindness I extend to others, no matter my politics, no matter my religion, first and foremost, I'm fat. And for some reason, me being fat makes all of my accomplishments, everything I mentioned, not matter. Before I am a grad student, I am fat. Before I am nice, I am fat. Before I am funny, I am fat. Before I am smart, I am fat. Before I like animals, I am fat. Before I am vegan, I am fat.
What a shining example of humanity! We don't deserve splotchmaker. Please make her the president of Earth.
A part of being fat is knowing that to so many people, the most exciting, celebratory, incredible thing you could ever do is get thin.
How did we end up being so shallow? Maybe it's because we all look so good. Do you want to be thin and healthy? Maybe you need to be a little bit better than that. Okay, a lot better. Like 300 pounds heavier, and she will be happy.
Getting smaller is the accomplishment above all accomplishments. Above getting a master's degree. Above getting a bachelor's degree. Above landing a great job in your career. Above being in a healthy relationship. Above getting married. Above getting engaged. Above.
You know, I've never thought of it that way. You've inspired me. Now I'm going to get fat.
Because we are not seen as human before we are seen as fat. Fatness is seen as an other. It's seen as its own identity, separate from humanity. Because it's seen as like a moral thing. It's seen as morally bad.
Gluttony is actually a sin. That pretty much sums it up. So eat up, because this may be your last meal.
Even though there are so many health risks with weight loss.
Great. First I had to worry about getting fat, now I have to worry about getting healthy? I guess when they say health risk, they mean dying from something other than obesity. For fat activists, this goal's so far out of reach, it's practically in outer space. And I don't want to alarm you, but I just found out that 100% of people who eat carrots will die. Well, sooner or later, eventually. That's why I'm in a 12-step program for people who eat too much salad.
Even though, for the vast majority of people, they will gain back more weight than where they started.
Poor thing. This holy woman has done nothing wrong. However, she has done nothing right. Except maybe ordering a large Coke with 4 Big Macs.
I don't usually respond to comments like this, but I think it is a perfect example of feeling entitled to other people's health statuses. And you are writing a comment, projecting your own things onto me, and assuming so many things even when told otherwise.
Fat activists' only sport is mental gymnastics. That's why they're so good at twisting themselves into logic pretzels.
So, thank you for being a perfect example of what not to be.
Stop making bad examples out of yourselves, kids. You're making obese activists very, very upset. But don't worry, just like last time, they'll run out of breath and give up.
This happens a lot to people in groups whose experiences people don't really care about. More annoyed that we're talking about our experience and we're complaining about our experience than the fact that we have so many things to complain about and we have so many things in the way of us.
The most annoying experience will be getting her house demolished in order for her to be rescued. I just hope she won't eat the bulldozer.
I want fat people to be able to go to the doctor and get medical care. I want fat people to be able to wear what they want in public and also wear what they want, period. We have like something like 80% less options or more compared to people who are thin.
That's because you are fatter than 80% of people. You can wear a camping tent. It will fit. It just won't be flattering. But maybe it's a cry for help. Is she blinking in Morse code? I can't tell.
We want to go clothes shopping like everyone else. We want to just get groceries like everyone else. We want to do things without them all being a risk, without them all being a call to bullying.
We want all this, and also to eat takeout 3 times a day, 7 days a week. That's not too much to ask, is it?
Why do you not like being fat? What are the factors for you? What are the underlying beliefs of that? That's the point where things kind of fall apart. Because if you want to say like, oh, I just want to be healthier, or I want to look better, or blah, 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 blah. There are beliefs that are underpinning that. You think thinness is related to health. It's a direct correlation. Maybe you think thinness is more attractive. Maybe.
Having common sense is fat-phobic. You really can't win.
You don't exist in a vacuum, and so those uninterrogated background beliefs are going to bleed out on everyone else.
The problem is you, not her. She's innocent until proven guilty. So I'm going to wait until she's proven guilty.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
Projections? Check. Entitlement? Check. Sending others on guilt trips? Check. Lack of self-awareness? Check. Lack of taking responsibility for her actions? Check. Self-praise? Also check. She is a woman of many talents. So yeah, it's a classic case.
How would it sit with you in your immediate assumptions that it's related to weight or exercise? That I was struggling more emotionally in socio-emotional everything functioning, and I was more depressed and more anxious when I was thin and extremely active.
I'm pretty sure she's been claiming to be fat since childhood. Please correct me if I'm wrong.
If you grew up fat, tell me one story from your childhood that people probably will not believe unless they grew up fat. I'll go first. So this was in 4th grade. My mom had a spy on like a 9 or 10-year-old to make sure she wasn't eating frickin' food.
I'm not wrong.
How does it sit with you that my experience is not what you experienced? How does it sit with you that possibly your experience has been informed by the cultural anti-fatness and body hierarchies we have, and the unhealthy relationship that a lot of people have with movement, the way that people revolve it around numbers instead of healthy relationship with movement, instead of joyful movement, instead of helpful movement.
Someone should tell her that the fat acceptance movement isn't the type of movement she should be focusing on. And let's be real, shuffling over to KFC for some wings isn't exactly considered movement either. I believe there is some logic there, but it's hidden behind a stack of pizzas.
I've been thin and depressed, fat and depressed, thin and anxious, fat and anxious. Both being super active, being less active, being medium active.
She's been a huge obese woman who's so fat she has stretch marks on her forehead. Oops, my bad! I totally just spilled the beans on her future because, I'm a fortune teller and all.
You cannot win on the internet as a fat person because if you show self-confidence, you show that you're secure, then people, 1, either think you're totally faking it, or 2, think you are a complete delusional narcissist.
She's freaking out about being a narcissist. I mean, she kind of knows deep down, but she's so out there that she thinks it's just self-confidence. Poor thing, it's really just her overcompensating for her lack of confidence.
And we must never dare to try to do anything before then. And y'all will try to retaliate and keep us in that box and try to keep us feeling small through your little comments and videos and responses and critiques.
Small like a tiny little 600 pounds baby, sad and fat, and still no responsibility taken.
You're making weight your entire thing. You're making your fatness entire thing. But people who do weight loss pages and their entire content is just weight loss. It's also about weight. It's also about their body. But somehow that does not get the same treatment. That does not get called the same thing.
So, there's a big diff between I'm trying to improve and need some support, and everyone else is to blame except me. Am I right?
I have not been single since 2015. I have been in a relationship since 2015.
Nice.
And here's the thing about people who are ableist and fatphobic, right? They make all these stereotypes and assumptions about why the people want us, about what we have and what we don't have. But sometimes they will say the quiet part out loud, and it's I can't believe this person is in a relationship and I'm single. And all I'm going to say about that is a great point for self-reflection.
You cannot brag about your relationships without shitting on other people's heads, can you? I mean, you can, but it's not as much fun. Your poor guy probably goes on guilt trips more than he goes to Burger King to pick up your order. Therefore, I feel sorry for him. Not sorry enough to do anything about it, but sorry.
It's okay to support people who are trying to change their bodies. But it's not okay to support people who are just existing in the ones they were given. And this plays into ableism, this idea that we owe performing health to people, and that health is a moral problem.
She's acting like her health is all we care about, as if it's some sort of society demand and not just about her own life. You know, she's right. It is about us. We're the ones who are going to have to look at her face.
Somehow, somewhere, we got it so twisted that we have to earn the right to not be harassed, and earn the right to be believed, and earn the right to exist. They're trying to appease a certain societal standard.
Twisted fat logic and misdirected rage. You are fat and it's your fault, not mine. I'm not trying to insult you. I'm just trying to get you to take responsibility for your actions. I'm your conscience, baby. Every time you want to say something stupid or inappropriate, I'll be here to laugh at you. Enough of fat acceptance for today. Let's continue next time.